So I know I've been lacking with my Mandalorian videos recently. I didn't cover the last 2 episodes, but spoiler warning for chapters 12, 13, and now 14. I'm just gonna go quickly through the last 2. It was funny because chapter 12 became my favorite of the season, and then chapter 13 was an amazing episode with obviously Ahsoka, which was so cool to see live action. I did have the look of her spoiled for me just through Instagram, which it's my fault. It took me like 2 days to watch it, which I get. That was on me, but then that was like the best one. And then we have this episode, which is the best episode of the entire series so far, in my opinion. Before we go any further, I feel like people might ask, what do I think about Baby Yoda the child, or Grogu? The name Grogu, I think it actually fits pretty well. Now, I'm probably still going to call this Baby Yoda, just because that's the internet's fault, which is funny because to think about it, nobody in the show has ever referred to him as Baby Yoda, because it's not what he is. He's just one of the kind. They just refer to him as child, so I'll refer to him as child, Baby Yoda, and Grogu throughout the entire thing. I think that's just interesting, and this episode was amazing. It started off with just such an adorable scene with Grogu and Mando. I'll call him that instead of his real name. I'm just used to it. He's trying to get him to use the Force where he takes it, and he's like, no, I'm not mad at you. And oh, that child he's so cute. And when I read the title, I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And this episode, as I said, was my favorite so far. They brought in Robert Rodriguez, who's a pretty big director. It's like, I think that's kind of obvious. And you look up his films and you're like, oh yeah. So it was really interesting, and the way he directed this episode was fantastic. When we have the amazing return of Boba Fett. He was in that first episode of the season. You saw him turn around, and I was like, they added so much anticipation here, and then he's finally back here. It is awesome. They have this amazing showdown, him and another girl, I forget her name, with Mando, and then they team up when he becomes Boba Fett technically. Like when he gets his armor back and you see the little things go in and then blow up, and then he flies in, I was like, this is some of the greatest fan service I've ever seen. But not bad fan service. The Mandalorian is really good at making really good fan service, one that isn't like annoying, like, oh, they're only doing this because they can't think of anything else. They're pulling off the fan service in a really smart way. And like, I know calling it fan service is like a bad thing, like a lot of the time. That's why I'm making it very clear it's not. This episode was great, and that whole action scene, I think it probably went for a solid, I'll say 10 minutes. The episode was shorter than the last one, definitely, and I think it was perfectly paced. Like this, when you have an episode like this is exactly what I wanted. I'm on the edge of my seat for the entire thing. Now this sounds really bad, okay? I know, but because, you know, I'm a teenager in 2020, okay? I go on my phone sometimes when I'm watching something at home, not in the theater because I'm not one of those people, but at home. But I don't think I touched it through the entire episode because I was so invested in this. That's how good it was. It was so interesting. And then when we had the child up there and he was in like the force field thing, and Mando kept trying to go into it and just fling him back, it just kept going. It was really funny because it happened like, I think 3 times. And then they took him. They took the child, Baby Yoda, Grogu. They took him. And I was like, oh God, what are they going to do? And then he's preserved. And then when they open up the cell and he's like, and he's making the stormtroopers go around, I was laughing out loud really, really hard. I actually thought that was really funny. I love, just like everyone else, I love this guy. He's easily one of my favorite characters, not just because he's adorable, but just because so many great elements that they pull off with him. And I just think the action was so well shot here too. It's, as I said, my favorite of the season so far. I think this video is normally longer than the rest of them. I was so excited to talk about this. I know I slacked off and didn't talk about the last ones. And this video, you know, I was like, I like this one. I love, but I'm really going to talk about this episode because it's the one that everyone's seen. I know it was like a last minute choice to bring in Robert Rodriguez. It was so smart. This episode was fantastic. I'll say some of my favorite content we got out of the Star Wars universe. That's how good this thing was. The return of Boba Fett here, like, in the armor too, and when you saw him without it, like, beating the guys with the stick and, like, stabbing, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And the way they hit it kind of more, because it's for children too, like, younger, not, like, children, but, like, younger kids too, so they had to hide it, which I get, of course, it's not a bad thing. I think that this episode was fantastic, and let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'll see you tomorrow for my review of Mank. I'm really excited. I haven't seen it yet. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.